Welcome or welcome back to Cosmosis or Whatever. I'm Salia, aka SaliaMarie1243, and I am formerly known as your fairy tarot sister. I'm a psychic medium, spiritual mentor, spiritual educator, or whatever. Yes, so you heard that right. Yes, formerly known as. I'm gonna keep trying to not say formally instead of formerly. Right? That's a word, formerly, like you used to be. Am I saying that wrong? You know what I mean, right? It used to be, now it's not. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. That's what this episode's about. I don't know if you guys have peeped on my TikTok, but I have officially changed my TikTok handle back to SaliaMarie1243 from Fairy Tarot Sister 1243. It was the only one of my social media platforms that was different. So this episode, I'll be talking about why I made that decision, and I'm going to be telling the story of my name and how I got it. So the reason I changed from SaliaMarie1243, because if you guys are OGs, like if you go way, way back with me, you guys will know on TikTok, I was SaliaMarie1243 before I was Fairy Tarot Sister. And I actually changed it when I picked up tarot more. And I wanted it to be visible on TikTok because I wanted people to be able to find me, to be able to know what I do as a tarot reader. And keep in mind, that was like in the baby stages of me being a tarot reader. And I've advanced a lot since then. And I honestly feel like I have outgrown that name. I will forever be your fairy tarot sister though, so don't worry. A lot of you guys, very, very gracious people, have sent me things. Shanti, thank you. Diana, thank you for sending stuff. I have mugs and shirts and pens, all kinds of stuff that say Fairy Tarot Sister. So don't feel worried about that. Like, I will still be known as that. I just wanted to officially change my handle back to SaliaMarie1243. I just feel like I've outgrown the tarot part of that name just because it feels limiting, honestly. It doesn't really encompass the entirety of who I am. So I wanted to change it. Just back to SaliaMarie1243. I've always resonated with fairy energy. And I never really knew why until I started looking into my past lives. And I had a past life as a fairy, so that makes sense. So I'll always have that fairy energy. I'm still going to make fairy references. We're still going to call Wednesdays on TikTok Fairy Tale Wednesdays and everything. But I just am doing so much that I might just stick with the SaliaMarie1243 and not have a tagline. I'm still figuring it out, and I think I have to give myself permission to let that be okay. So yeah, because right now I'm a psychic medium, right? So that is somebody who speaks to spirits of people who are on the other side. Yeah. And just in case you guys didn't know, psychics and psychic mediums are two different things. Did you know that? Okay, they're two different things. Not all psychics are mediums. Just because someone is a psychic doesn't mean they are a medium. As far as I have studied and heard from other people too, all mediums, the people who can talk to spirits on the other side, they are psychic. But I'm learning more and more every single day that those are two completely different sets of skills. They do merge at some points, but you tap into a completely different space sometimes. They definitely inform each other, but it's important to know that they're separate. Okay, for all my developing medium psychics, all that. Yeah. So I'm also mentoring now. I have that option available on my website. And I'm also looking to do that in a more long-term sense. I think I'm going to start taking on people a little bit on a bigger chunks, if that makes sense. Right now, I just have it book by session, but I would like to take on a couple of people, possibly a couple months at a time, where you will have full access to me as a mentor. You can text me, hey Salia, this happened. What do you think? That kind of thing. I will let you guys all know when that's happening. I'm also working on learning energy healing. I actually just did a podcast with Anterica. Spiritually Intuitive Sister. I will share that on my socials as well, because I did a very impromptu but intense healing session with her, and she has some exciting news about it, and it was really validating for me because some cool stuff happened, right? You'll have to listen to the episode. I'm not going to spoil it, right? So yeah, I'm doing energy healing. That's going to be a service very soon. I'm practicing. Some of you guys have experienced it. Some of you haven't. I only do it when I feel called to. But it'll be a service soon. I do guided meditations every month. I really enjoy that. I don't know if you guys can tell how much I love doing guided meditations, because I really love being able to help people invoke their senses to, experience whatever it is that spirit feels like they need to experience. Like, that's really, really fun for me to develop the different types of guided meditations. And I will have those available for like downloads soon. I'll do some free ones on like my YouTube and stuff like that, but I'll also have ones, like special ones for download on my website. So that's already just like a lot of stuff. I'm also developing some things behind the scenes. I'm trying not to talk about it as much because my spirit guides are always like, girl, shut up. Like, you talk too much. Like, why are you always telling everybody your business? I'm like, okay, fine. So I will say I'm working on some actual like products behind the scenes to help people in their journey, right? I really love just being able to help in whatever capacity I can through all of those things I just talked about. So I'm wearing many hats, and fairy tarot just felt very limiting. So SaliaMarie1243, I have had that name since like junior high? I've had that name since junior high, I think. Like when I was allowed to have social media. And I had to have a handle for something. So Salia is my first name, obviously. Hi, hello. Marie is my first middle name. So I have two middle names. The first one is Marie. The second one is Ilinga Noa. Yeah. Try to say that. Yeah. So Salia Marie Ilinga Noa. Though that's my first name and my two middle names. I was named after both of my grandmothers. So Marie is my dad's mom. And then I didn't want to put Ilinga Noa in there because that's just a lot. Sorry, grandma. Love you. But, and then 1243 is actually, so 12 has always been my lucky number. Before I knew about angel numbers, any of that, 12 has always just been a number that I gravitated towards. When I was little, when I was just a youngin', a little baby potato, I was number 12. I always wanted number 12 when I was playing sports. Like in basketball, softball, I always wanted to be number 12. But if I couldn't get 12, I got 43. So that is also kind of became like another number that just meant something to me, and I kind of carried it with me throughout, like into adulthood, obviously. So yeah, so I actually want to talk to you guys about my name, like what that means though, because even I'm just now realizing how much it fits me and how important names are to things. Because, when we are speaking, when we are saying things, they are like spells. It is magic. It is, energy that is being put onto us or even like channeled through us. Sometimes our parents are actually channeling our names. Those parents who are just like, I don't know, it just came to me. Like, that's for a reason. You have the name that you have for a reason, and you may or may not resonate with that name anymore, depending. Everybody's journey is completely different. But the more and more I got to know my name, the more and more I understood how much it kind of resonated with me. So let me tell you the meaning of Salia, right? Salia is actually how you pronounce it, like Salia. So when my mom was pregnant with me, she has two nieces, and she was the favorite aunt. And they were arguing over who she would name the baby after, right? Firstborn. So, I'm her favorite. I realized that she can't tell my other siblings that, like we're besties. I was in her womb first. Everybody else was just like leftovers. I realized she can't tell anybody that. So Mom, if you're listening to that, it's okay. Like, we don't have to tell the rest, but we know what it is. It's fine. So yes, my my cousins were fighting over who I was going to be named after. So my two cousins' names, Sarona, which is actually Sharon in Samoan, okay, and then Liahona is another one of my cousins. And that, if you guys know anything about like Mormonism, Liahona is actually a compass. It's a compass that is in the Mormon scriptures. And yeah, it helped. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm not like super Bible study, scripture study. I'm not getting that award anytime soon. But I do know it was a compass. It was like a little ball compass thing that led people to, like, look it up if you're interested. But it literally was supposed to like lead people to wherever they were supposed to go. And I think that's so crazy. Just like obviously the nature of who I am and what I do now. Thanks, Mom. You know, like, thanks, Spirit. Thanks. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then Sharon, I've looked it up before. It's been a while since I've looked it up, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't quite remember. But Sharon, I believe, was like a plane. It's also in the Bible. It was like a plane on the side of like, it was like in the Middle East. It was like this beautiful, like gorgeous, lush, it was like fertile plain or something like that is like one of the like flat out definitions of it, like fertile plain. I'm like, okay, you know, like we can work with that. Fertile plain. Sure. You know, why not? There was something else to it too. I'm not even gonna lie, I can't remember. But yeah, so name definitely packs a lot of power, and that makes a lot of sense for me. So I would, if you guys have not, look into the origins of your name. Whether it be like a cultural reference or even go back. I like to, when I'm looking up the names of things, that's funny. It was just 1212. The recording just made it to 1212. My spirit guides are like, hey girl, we see you. But I feel like if you go to the origins of your name, especially in like the ancient languages, right? Like I'm talking like Hebrew, Greek, Latin, like, you know, those old ancient languages that everything else kind of developed from. See what your name means in that and see how much it does or does not resonate with you and your energy. Also, pro tip, if you are coming in contact with spirit guides and you feel like you need to name them something, you can go ahead and do that. Also, if they give you a name, or if you feel like giving them a name, look up what that name means. Because 9 times out of 10, it's going to also resonate in that way. You get me? Where it's like, it's going to make sense for why that guide is there in your life. For example, my higher self. I was very confused the first time I met her because her name was Sadie. And I was like, okay, well, why isn't your name Salia? And she's like, look up what Sadie means. Sadie means princess. Okay? I'm very much resonating with that energy. If anybody has met me, yeah, you'll already know. It's a thing. So thanks, higher self. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that's a pro tip. And then the 1243, other than that being my like lucky numbers just smashed together, it's also an angel number, right? And another pro tip, anything can be an angel number. A lot of people ask me like, oh, you know, I see this number, but it's not really an angel number. That's not true, friend. That's not true. It can still be an angel number. It does not have to be a double number, or, you know, you don't even have to see it more than once. A lot of people say that too. Sometimes I will just see a number. It'll be a random thing like 1987 or like, you know, something random. But if it just really feels, if it calls out to you, it's probably an angel number. Your angels are speaking to you. And it's definitely going to take, you know, understanding, some intuition about it, so you don't go looking up every freaking number that you ever see ever, because I've been there and it can get overwhelming. But if it's calling to you, do it. Go for it. That's how we build our intuition. That's how we learn. We listen to our bodies. We listen and do it. And if it's there, great. If it's not, great. And we just keep on learning from there, right? So, but 1243, I remember the first time that I actually looked it up because I was like, well, I started to see it, I think, on the clock, and I've been seeing it a lot lately too. There's a couple of different definitions that I've seen at different times on Google, and it's funny because they always resonate. They always resonate with what I'm going through at the moment. And some of you guys might be seeing 1243, but the way that I resonate with it most is there's a message about ascended masters being around you. And that makes so much sense for me because if you guys know anything about my journey, a lot of ascended masters have just randomly come to me. Like, I will not channel them. I mean, I guess technically I am channeling them, but like not with the intent to, right? There's a couple, Kali Ma was the first deity that ever kind of came to me, an ascended master. And I was like freaking out and I didn't know what that meant. And I worked with her energy. Just a lot of different ascended masters. Jesus, listen, don't get me started on Jesus, okay? Jesus came in. That'll have to be a different time that I'll tell you guys about that. But yeah, pay attention to the numbers that are consistently showing up in your life or your favorite numbers. What do those mean? There's a meaning to everything. That's what this podcast is all about. That's what I feel like my life purpose is all about, to plant those seeds for people to help us realize, because it will change your life. I'm trying to tell you. Understanding that everything is connected, but also not getting too wrapped up in it, right? Don't get too wrapped up into it where, like, you know, you're freaking out or, you know, you get super anxious about it. There's balance to be had, but overall, everything's connected, whether you understand it or not, whether you are going to know it now or know it 5 years from now. Like, I wouldn't have ever known that I was going to be where I am right now in my life. I had kind of a roundabout idea, but I never would have imagined it being like this. So listen to your intuition. Follow what you're curious about. Look into the definitions of your name. And see what it means. See what energy you're working with, because it can tell you a lot about yourself. I hope that this was an interesting story time for you guys. Thank you for letting me share, and I will see you guys around the internets. Bye.